Thank you, everybody, for joining us today for our Panther Perspectives on our global education and study abroad opportunities here at High Point University by Dr. Jeff Palis, who is our Assistant Vice President for Global Education. So go ahead and take it away.
Well, thank you. And hello, folks out there. We'll have our friends in admissions kind of help us get your questions in, but it's very important for me that this is almost like a town hall, right? This is a great time for you to get some Q&A directly with the Office of Global Education here at HPU. So let me start by welcoming you to the presentation on study abroad today. I am Dr. Palis, Assistant Vice President for Global Education here at HPU. And I want to start by telling you a little bit about what we do with global education at HPU, and then we're going to get into study abroad because I think that's probably why you're in our little chat today. So we have a wonderful 3-person staff here in global education. You can see myself, Mr. Ferguson, and Ms. Cruz, and we're here to help our students go abroad and also our international students when they come here to HPU. So we're the home of a lot of cultural activities throughout the year, and we provide academic advisement and cultural adjustment, visa immigration assistance for our international students who are such an important part of our campus community at HPU. So again, global education, we're the home of international student affairs. We're also the home of, broadly speaking, global programming on campus. We have an International Education Week every fall. We have an international festival every spring. That's very exciting. We do cultural events and celebrations like Chinese New Year and Iftar and all sorts of different activities that students can participate in throughout the year. It's very important for us to be able to, of course, bring our students to the world through study abroad, but also to bring the world to our students, again, through cultural programming and different activities we have on campus, so we can develop these global life skills for our students, even if they're not able to study abroad. And of course, we are the home of study abroad at HPU. So we're the home of our both short-term and semester-long programs, and we're going to talk about those as we continue. So we think that, you've heard at HPU, we have a life skills model. We believe we're preparing our students for success in the world as it's going to be, and study abroad is an important part of that. And we see 3 major ways that study abroad impacts our students. We see it through personal growth, the independence, the self-confidence, the ability to navigate complex situations. Study abroad isn't easy. It shouldn't be easy. It's pushing our boundaries, our cultural boundaries, our linguistic boundaries. And I'm a firm believer that learning begins where your comfort zone ends. And our students come back very much empowered by the study abroad experience. And in fact, national research shows that the #1, and this is sort of self-affirming detail in some ways, but the #1 report we get, again, nationwide from students when they return from the study abroad experience is the growth they felt within themselves. Again, this confidence, this empowerment, this independence that comes from having successfully lived and studied in another country. So we get the personal growth. We also get wonderful professional development opportunities as far as building your global network, but also building your cross-cultural communication skills, your intercultural sensitivity. We say now that the passport is the new resume, right? And no matter what field you enter, it could be business, it could be education, it could be political science, it could be healthcare, it could be the sciences. You're going to be working with people across cultural and geographical borders, and you have to be able to communicate well and effectively. And we're looking for that now in employers coming out of the university. Employers are looking for that in students coming out of the university. What can you show us from what you've done for the last 4 years at the university that you're going to be a good member of a global team? And there's no better way to do that than studying abroad and being able to articulate the things that you've learned and how you've grown from that study abroad experience. And finally, with study abroad, we do see, of course, academic insights. Our study abroad programs are all credit-bearing programs. where students are enrolled in a class at HPU, and they are earning course credit either towards their gen ed, the first year or two of classes you take, or towards their majors or minors. Not all of our programs require a foreign language, so many of our students can go abroad and take classes in English, but those who do study foreign language, I mean, of course, that's a great way to learn the language, through that full immersion in the local language and the local culture. So again, we think it is part of our life skills model, the global life skills model at HPU, both on a personal, professional, and academic level through study abroad. Kind of want to talk to you now about the process and how you get involved with study abroad. And for those of you reaching us who are still in high school, actually that would be the even further to the left of this, but the perfect time to start pursuing your study abroad dreams. And I say that because all too often over the years, I've seen students who come in as juniors and seniors and say, you know what, I've been thinking about it. I finally decided I want to study abroad. Well, in some ways that can be late. We want you to start studying abroad, thinking about studying abroad very, very early. So you could plan courses, you could plan programs into your 4-year plan, into your study plan at the university. And that begins your first semester of your freshman year through personalized advisement through both your student success coach, but also through our office. And we want students to come to us very, very early on. Talk to us that freshman year. Talk to us about what their goals might be, what kind of courses they may want to take abroad, what they're majoring in, what they're minoring in. And in fact, a lot of our study abroad programs are available, actually, the short-term programs, we call the Maymesters, the global experience programs. These programs could be available for you as freshmen. So starting that freshman year, by the time May rolls around, you could be studying abroad. You complete your first 2 semesters on campus, you could be studying abroad that May. So again, personalized advisement, both through your success coaches and through our office, needs to happen very, very early to make sure you can tie in the study abroad experience into your 4-year plan at HPU. So once you kind of come in for advisement, once you start thinking about what program you want to go on, then comes the pre-departure programming, where we prepare you for your experience, making sure you're set up for your classes, making sure you're prepared in terms of health and safety, but also understanding all the different cultural challenges, which are good. We love those challenges that you'll be experiencing when you're abroad. So personalized advisement at the beginning, then the pre-departure programming, and then of course the study abroad experience itself. And this isn't simply travel. This is, yes, traveling to another country, but you're traveling with a purpose. You're traveling with an intention. And that intention is to learn about your local culture that you're visiting, to learn about your academic courses you're taking. And we design these programs, both semester and short term, really with the student in mind and what we want the students to get, to learn, to experience while they're abroad. So the study abroad experience, again, is very intentional. It's not just travel. It can be very immersive, and you're going to come back having learned a lot about the place that you're going to study. It doesn't stop there, though. When you get back to campus, we like to involve you with re-entry programming, whether it be helping our international students, helping kind of get our campus globally minded through our different events that we have that we want you to volunteer. Of course, we make sure that all your credits are going to be back on your transcripts and everything from your study abroad experience. And then that finishes again with what now? Like I've studied abroad, I've come back to campus, what now? How is this going to impact my career? We'll have seminars throughout the year, and we partner very closely with our Office of Career and Professional Development on different things that you could think about on how to use your study abroad experience to enhance your resume and enhance your job and future academic prospects after graduation. So again, it's a long process, right? And as part of your 4 years here, you're going to be involved with our office from the get-go. But we really want you to start thinking about the study abroad experience even before you get here. But if not before you get here, then that freshman year is when we really want you to start planning that study abroad opportunity. Okay, so a little bit more about the actual opportunities we have. If you look at those 2 little clips of text there, you see the university partnerships. Then you see below that the faculty-led courses. University partnerships refer to semester-long programs that we have set up with universities all over the world. Okay, 30 different countries, some 60 different partnerships where you can spend a semester studying abroad. If you're going to do a semester, it does require that advanced planning, beginning course, your freshman year if you'd like. But you wouldn't actually be studying abroad for a semester, typically until your junior year. We do see some students go second semester, sophomore year, but typically your junior year, right? So you have time to get your feet on the ground, to get involved on campus before you jump off and go for a full semester. But again, we have a lot of opportunities for students, and we'll kind of show you a map to illustrate that here shortly. And then the faculty-led courses. Faculty-led courses are shorter experiences abroad. They're 2 to 4 weeks, and they're always traveling with HPU faculty and your peers, the other students in your class. We have 15 or 20 of those different programs every year, and that's an area of growth for us. We're really expanding that, and by 2023, we're gonna double, triple our capacity to run these short-term programs and all over the world. It's very important to us that we offer these courses in a diversity of academic areas. No matter what you're studying, you will have the opportunity to go abroad. So I mentioned our partnerships a second ago in the map. So I'm a geographer by training, and there's nothing I like more than a good map. So bear with me here. You can see that we have programs all over the world for students to be able to go to. And these are our semester partnerships. Again, these are universities that we have agreements with where you can study for an entire semester while in residence at another university while maintaining your enrollment at HPU. Again, typically your junior year, but you could do that second semester, sophomore year if you need to, if you'd like to. Okay. And now on the faculty-led side. The faculty-led side, these are short-term programs, again, 2 to 4 weeks in duration. We have 2 types of programs within the faculty-led model. We have the global experience courses, which you take during your spring semester. And then following the completion of the spring semester, you'll travel for usually 2 weeks, maybe 3, with your professor and the students in your class. So again, it's a spring taught class, and then you have a little trip on the end of it. The Maymester courses, if you think of it as a condensed semester, like a mini semester. So you take fall semester on campus, you take spring semester on campus, and then boom, you have an extra semester. It's condensed into 4 weeks, and the class that you'll be taking during that Maymester will be fully taught abroad. So it's not connected to a class you've taken at HPU. The class is taught by HPU faculty, but instead of teaching it on our campus over the summer or during the Maymester, you actually take that class abroad, and the full class is delivered abroad. And this is a picture of our marketing in Spain program that also had a Spanish class attached to it. So we had students in Spain studying either marketing or Spanish over that 4-week Maymester period. And that's, again, something that we're really growing, and we're going to develop more and more of these opportunities so you can get that immersive experience where you're spending a full month abroad without perhaps the lengthy commitment of going for a full semester. It's kind of a best of both worlds situation. We'll still have full semesters, and we'll still have the short 2-week Maymesters, global experience courses, sorry. But the Maymesters is something that we're really excited about growing. So again, you get that full 4-week immersive experience with HPU faculty during the months of May and June every year. And these are just some examples of different Maymester and global experience courses we've had over the years. And you can see they're in a variety of different disciplines, and they're to a variety of different countries. Again, that diversity element is very important for us to make sure all students can pursue the kind of study abroad program that they would like. So we really try to design our HPU programs across academic areas and to many different parts of the world. We also have here at HPU something called our ViaTRM Study Abroad portal. And once students become members of the HPU community, they can create themselves a profile on ViaTRM. And this is where we handle all of our applications and all of our program information for students who are getting ready to research and apply for a program. And one of the cool aspects of ViaTRM is it has analytics in it. So if you type in, when you create your portal, when you create your profile, when you type in some goals you have for your experience, this is what I want to study, this is the country I want to go to, this is the duration of time I want to be abroad, it'll kind of do the magic boop, 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 and boom, it selects, it recommends some programs for you. So you already have an idea of what programs might be a good fit for you when you come into our office. It can be overwhelming with the number of options we have, right? Some 60 different partnerships for the semester, and at the minimum 15 or 20 different Maymester global experience classes, and then those are growing. How do you find out which one's best for you? Well, ViaTRM helps you with that, and it'll also help you organize your application to study abroad once you make that decision. And of course, our office with our advisement can help you find a program for you. I'm a firm believer that study abroad is not one size fits all, meaning I want students to be able to come into us, talk to us, again, express their goals, and let us help them find the program that we offer that's going to fit them the best. One other thing here, just to kind of give you an idea of what the academic year looks like in terms of the study abroad process. This is this year, academic year 2021. But you can get an idea of the different time we have here on when you apply, when the deadlines are, and these are going to be pretty consistent from year to year. Again, it requires a lot of planning and talking to us, but the one thing I really want to point out is that study abroad fair that happens every September, usually on a Friday in the middle of September, and that's when we have all the programs in the student union, and that's a great way, especially as freshmen, to go and see what we all have to offer right there on the floor of the student union. Okay, so I am going to hand it back over to our leaders in admissions and let them handle any Q&As that come in. So thank you.
Yes, thank you. So our first question is, are there any specific countries that aren't applicable for some majors? For example, would a journalism major be able to study in Italy?
Yeah, that's a good point. So I think students can look at finding study abroad programs through one of two sort of angles, right? Do you want to come in and say, I'm a journalism major, I'm a communications major, what programs are available for me in my major? Or do you want to come in and say, I want to study abroad in Italy, what programs do you have in Italy, right? If you come in as a journalism major, you might find that there are programs in countries that maybe you weren't thinking about. I know a lot of our mass media, journalism, communication majors who go for a semester will actually go to the UK, will actually go to England. But if you want to look at programs in Italy, we can do that. But we might have to say, all right, the Italian programs we have aren't necessarily designed for your major. Do you have a minor? Are you interested in an Italian studies minor, for instance? But do you have any gen ed classes? We all have to take literature and history and art like that. Are you interested in maybe taking one of those on the study abroad? And we could fit study abroad into your plan either way, based on what major you want to take abroad or what country you want to take. But yes, there are some cases where if you want to say, I want to do journalism in Italy, that might be a hard fit, right? But there will be journalism in other countries, and there'll be other kind of courses in Italy, and we could try to make that work for you.
Another question that we have that just came in, which, by the way, you guys, keep them coming, was what year would you recommend studying abroad for a Maymester?
Again, we're starting to develop those programs now for that freshman Maymester. Here's what I like about the freshman and Maymester. So you get on campus in August, you go to the study abroad fair in September, you apply for a program. You can see the deadlines here. You apply for the program in November, by November. And by winter break of your freshman year, you'll know what your study abroad plans are for that upcoming year. And that's neat because then if you want to go multiple times, you've already gotten one program checked off and fit into your academic plan. Then it might be easier to do that second one because we do have students who want to go multiple times. Also, we're designing a lot of our courses now on Maymesters to be available for freshmen. We have a London humanities program that we're developing, or we have developed, that's going to offer gen ed, meaning the first and second year kind of level classes, in one class in music, fine arts, one class in literature, and one class in history. And you could pick one of those three classes and take it, again, the May after your freshman year. So I think that's a good time to go. I also think perhaps the May after your sophomore year, the Maymester after your sophomore year would be a great time to go. Those would be the times that I would say for that. And again, for a semester, you could do it your junior year. Though I do see, of course, the Maymester of the junior year being just as popular for short-term study abroad as semester study abroad.
Another question we have coming in is, when studying abroad for a full semester, do we offer homestays?
Some of the programs do. I mean, each program is going to be a little bit different on what the accommodations are like. A lot of our exchange partners in the United Kingdom will have campus housing. So you'll stay in dorms just like you would if you were on campus in the United States. You'll stay in their dorms. You know, you'll stay in their student housing. You'll join their student organization, student clubs. You'll participate in their student union. You'll be really integrated into that campus as a student on that campus. Occasionally, if we see students going on language programs for the semester, we do have an affiliate partner in Sevilla in Spain that has some pretty amazing homestays, and our students would stay with families on those programs. So really, it differs by the program. A lot of the semester programs are going to be dorms or maybe apartments, but we do have some homestays for students interested in studying language and culture while they're abroad.
Okay, and then for Maymesters, is that covered by tuition? And if not, what is the average cost?
Yeah, so we have, if we go back a slide, can everyone still see my screen?
Yes.
Yes, okay, I'm gonna try to get back. So, okay, a little bit of difference here. So a global experience course, right, that is taught during the spring semester. So that's gonna be part of your annual tuition you pay to HPU, the tuition for the course. So really for that, all you need to do is pay the trip cost on top of that. So the semester tuition is the same whether you participate in a global experience course or you participate in a campus course. Then you pay the trip cost. Maymesters are different because these are mini semesters. So these are like a third semester within the academic year. So you would pay tuition cost for a Maymester course. But I know our friends at admissions have some great sort of incentives for students to participate on Maymester courses in the future that could help with tuition. But then again, just like the global experience classes, you'd have to pay the trip cost. And the trip cost will range for either global experience or Maymester from as little as maybe $4,000 to as much as maybe $8,000, depending on how long the trip is, what part of the world you're going to, what's all included in the trip cost. Some parts of the world are going to be a little more expensive than others. And it also depends on how many students go. You know, students who programs that have large enrollments tend to create an economy of scale. So those might be a little more affordable than a small program that only takes 10 or 12 students, right? But all of this is clear. It's advertised. It will be up every year. All the Maymester and global experience courses, all that information, the dates, the costs, the courses, everything will be up to coincide with the Study Abroad Fair in September. So as soon as students get back to campus in the fall, really within the next few weeks, all that information is up, so they can see the costs, the dates, the courses, etc.
Perfect. Now we only have a couple minutes left, so get in those last questions you have. But another question we have is the whole program a constant cycle of academics, or do we also get to experience other activities within the country?
No, I mean it's an immersive experience. So let me just take a Maymester to London because that's what we talked about a minute ago. So you would go and have class in a classroom over 4 weeks for a few days a week. Standard classroom. Maymester courses are going to be a little bit longer per class because we're condensing it to 4 weeks instead of 4 months, right? So you'll spend a few days a week in the classroom. You also spend a couple days a week doing class activities out, okay? So if you're taking a history class in London, you might go on a history walking tour of London that day, led by your professor or a local tour guide. We have business programs where the students will go out and do case studies on local businesses that they're going to visit. And that's part of their class, to go and meet people who work in HR or in finance or in marketing or in corporate communications at different businesses around the world when they go. So yes, there's classroom experience, but yes, there's also quote, using the local city as your classroom experiences, right? So the academic experience extends outside of the classroom into the city that you're going to be studying in. In addition to that, we do have, typically on these programs, non-academic weekend activities built in, cultural excursions. When we were going to do London, we were going to spend a weekend up in Scotland, take the train up to Scotland. It's an overnight train. We go to Scotland. We have a nice time up there for a long weekend, right? So there will be cultural activities outside the classroom, academic activities outside the classroom, and then the traditional classroom lecture.
Yes, and I would just like to point out to everybody who's on here that High Point believes in experiential learning. So all of our courses have some sort of hands-on component, kind of similar to that outside of the classroom opportunities. So our last question of the day is, what has been your experience where study abroad is not a good fit for a student?
I mean, when students wait too long. When students come to us, junior if not senior year, and they try to fit in a program that just doesn't fit. Maybe they've waited till they only have 8 more classes to graduate, and they need those 8 classes. And if they don't get those 8 classes, they don't graduate on time. That makes our life, that makes our jobs a little bit harder, right? To be able to find that specific class in that specific semester, that specific term, that specific semester. But I really think if students come in planning early, then that sort of the chance of something like that happening really goes down. But again, it requires planning, and it requires even that freshman year start to think about the study abroad experience, so you don't put yourself in that position where you're a senior and all of a sudden the limitations of being able to find a program for you might keep you from being able to study abroad.